Yes, hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning to everyone who is watching. My name is Maurice, the Crochet Master, and welcome to our YouTube channel. And yes, today I have something that is very interesting that I would like us to talk about. Before we go so far, of course, we have been doing this short pixel cut, but there are some things that you need to know, and of course the questions that have been asked there: why is it itchy, and of course how can you protect all these. I'm going to be explaining it all in this full video, so it is a high time for you to click on that red button, ring the bell, and please make sure that you comment any question that you need to ask about this. So let's start. But before we go far, I have those previously very nice pictures that I would like you to check it out. And of course, you can also see all those different styles that before we go to this video, you can still take a look at those ones.
Yeah, it's Boris the Hairstyles, the crochet master.
It's so light as a tongue on the head, easy to maintain. You can hold the puff and move around so free. Yeah, so stylable, portable, ever available.
Morris the crochet.
Okay, right. We are back here now. Now, this is our main point that we need to look at for today. So first and foremost, we always need to first put our anti-itchy, because this is very important. When we put the anti-itchy, and of course we're using the MDC hair products. Of course, this one is for adults, and even the young ones, we have the full kit. If you want, you can also have them. So probably we have to add on the net, and of course many people always ask, why do we always add on the net? Other people, when they add on this net, they always protect the hair from the bond, okay, like the bond when they are using those glue. But this time around for us, we're doing the sewing, so we are just putting it there. You know, when you're trying to trim, that those small hair that always fall on the scalp, and most of the times you find out like they also bring the itching, because they're always sharp. Whenever we trim, they're always sharp and they fall inside. So when we put on this net, it protects everything, and this is how we add it. We have to sew it all round, and then after we trim it off, because we trim these other ones, and then we start our plating. So this one is going to give us the whole full shape, so that we can do this sewing. I like the sewing just because anytime you feel like washing the weave or maybe ironing it, it is firm enough than using the bond. And of course, those who have used it, sometimes you may not swim with it. It might be hard for you. So now let's start with our sewing. If you look at the way I'm sewing, of course, this first step, when you look down, we always put one layer, okay? I'm going to try to speed it up so that we can learn slowly by slowly. If you try to look at the first point, we put one layer of the weave. And of course, what we always mind about is this side and on top plus the behind, okay? So now the behind, of course, our hair needs to be flat. So that's why we are putting only one layer. And of course, when we see that also here needs to be flat, still we also have to do it and using only one piece. But now when we reach here in the middle, that one is very important. Like if you try to look here, of course we skip there, but in the middle it shows that I use like 4 of them, depending on how long this forehead is, okay? So if you try to look at it, I use like 4, and then that's how you come as you're reducing. They can be 4 in front, and then behind they just tend to reduce. You reduce, like on the second line you put 3, in the third 3, or maybe others they can be 2 until you reach at the center. But all in that, we need to focus like the sides. So when I come here to here, they can be 4 or 3, because here we want it big, and when I come back to here I have to remove those ones, and then here we go back to the 2, or they always have to be 2. You don't put 3, because when you put 3 they become so big. So that is the only logic when it comes to sewing this whole piece. So let's try to forward it so that we reach at the real point where we want to see this.
Crochet Master. A little loving, oyagala kola ka video shanane. Hey, you need some little pampering. Tomukono mukugo bumanyiche kukola. Yitakiwa crochet master, yakugu kamo viri kati master. Makeup uono genius, akukola kono nyuma. Jangu, you are crochet master. Come on. Jangu. Together.
Now, of course, there is this part where you reach at the center. This is very important. Sometimes when we're plaiting these people, they tend to feel pain, mostly like I'm now telling you the person they're sewing this. Now, when we're doing the sewing, not like the bonding, of course. Now, when they're sewing and you feel pain here at the center, when you feel that, that means there is some tension. And please don't say that it will heal. That pain keeps on increasing. So please, when you find it, like when you feel it when someone is still sewing, it is better you tell the person to remove it and maybe try to be soft. So that's why when I'm sewing there, I try to be as gentle as possible to make sure that this thing is not very, it doesn't create the tension at the center. So please, when it comes to this, you should always know, try to talk to your hairstylist so that you both should not make this mistake, because it is not good at all. So we sew it gently until we finish it. So as you can see how I'm doing it, I'm trying to be very as gentle as possible to see that it is coming out very nicely. So at the end of it all, when we are done, this is how we need to separate it. And we are separating the center, we're separating the sides, how we're going to trim it. You can see like here, you can see here how a lot it is, and now the sides. So this one, when it comes to trimming, it is now going to be very hard for me like to teach you how you're supposed to trim, because on this one, trimming is just how you feel, what you're trying to bring out. If the client wants here a lot or maybe here flat, that is how you're going to trim it. But the crucial sides that I always have to, the behind, okay? The behind needs to be flat. As you can see, it needs to be flat. And of course, here also need to focus on when you're trimming so that they're all very flat. And of course, let's try to forward it here so that we come back to our point the way we want it.
Number one, you know. A big thing. Yeah. Number one. From the art.
When we're done with all, you can see how it is. The shape is already showing. So here, that's when we apply the mousse, okay? Now here when we're applying the mousse, this one is not supposed to be like you have two in all the pieces, because you saw it had it curls. But if I want to create something that is different, of course I'm going to add in the mousse, and this one is going to make it flat. But this one I'm doing it because I know after it all we are going to try to create our curls, okay? But for those ones who cannot, of course those ones I know that they don't know how to iron, you might leave those original curls to stay in there, okay? So after it all, after adding the mousse, of course when you want it to be flat, you have to apply this net. I didn't have the other big net. What's those ones who can give me a plot or a link, just put it there so that I also get that big net, because for now I don't have it. That's why I was using the small ones. So after it all, she's done with the dryer. So here we are trying also to trim a little bit, because this one now we're trying to remove those because this comb, whenever it trims, sometimes it leaves those long hair, and when you're trying to iron it, it may also disturb you a lot. So you have to make sure that they're all very equal, as you can see this that I'm doing right here. This is also very important when it comes to this. Don't just see someone trimming and you think it is not important. So after it all, and of course when we're done with all trimming, the next step I'm going to show it here. So let's try it forward also to see where we're going through.
Hey, I buy clipper. Hey, I buy clipper. Bakabi. Hey, I buy clipper. Hey, I buy clipper. Bakabi.
Buy clipper. Hey, I buy clipper. Buy clipper. Hey, I buy clipper.
Abalala bakopa, we say to trend. Abalala baiya. Oh na 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 na.
So finally, after all that, we need to use a blow dryer. So this is very important to apply the blow dryer, because we want all those small hair that we have cut that are remaining inside all to blow it out, of course, because we know that when they are locked inside, they can also bring the itching, okay? So we blow it out and then we start doing our final trimming, and then we focus on the ironing. Okay, so this is how we're also going to iron. But again, when it comes to the ironing, this one is also very important, that you iron according to how you want it, how you want the style. This is not a must, like you have to iron like the way I'm doing. Of course, you might be having maybe other cows, somehow they're big, somehow they're small, so it is except you how you choose to use the iron. And of course, the size of the iron depends on the size of the cows. They depend on the iron that you're using. So this is how we're doing the cows, and of course we're trying to style it to come out very, 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 very nicely. So let's watch it and see how it is going to come out. Of course, all those things, when they're done, we just have to brush it off those, and then after, you can see how I'm trying to make this one also sleep very, very nicely, so that we can even do the makeup, and then after it all, everything is going to be very, very nice. Yes, my name is Maurice, the crochet master, and I'm very glad to be here today. Of course, this is the final look, and please, you can rate it from 1 to 10. Of course, in the comment section, tell me how you feel about this hairstyle. Bye bye. May the Lord bless you all. See you in my other next video.
Ooh, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know what they did, but you look so beautiful. Mubitabe byange wasomye. Otunulanga Miss Independent. Your hair so perfect. Looks like it was made straight out of heaven. Yeah, Oli malaika from head to your toes. Bakukozeko oli chiso. Eyo jovude bamanyi kye bakola. Bakole biriko.